global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happenings today. One of the things I've discovered, or one of the most difficult people to tame, are actually humans. Humans are quite difficult to tame, especially when it comes to the issue of unruly behavior. Except stringent measures are put in place, you may be having a situation to contend with. Don't forget that some weeks back, when Professor Charles Soludo of the Anambra State government and a new Anambra State governor had announced that there shall be no touting, no issue of agberoism, quote and unquote, in Anambra State, and that's like revenue leakages that he has every intention to stop it and ensure that Anambra moves to greatness again. But it looks like some weeks after he succeeded to a great extent, all right, he had to bring in the security personnel to ensure that there's 100% compliance. Well, it looks like the people have decided to do what we call a rebound. They have decided to take the fight back to Professor Charles Soludo, the new governor of Anambra State. I guess they're not ready to relinquish their hold despite the warnings. And the issue of arrest they're not perturbed with what is going on. They have decided to make this latest move, of which Governor Charles Soludo may have to have a rethink, because this is like fighting on all sides. I guess he has a lot of good advice that's to help him through. Well, before we go into the news report to find out what the Touts guys, the Agberos, are doing right now that will not all go well at all in Anambra State, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you'll see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, Indonesia, in defiance of the order of Governor Chukwuma Soludo to the end of touting in Anambra State, especially in motor parks, markets and roadsides across the state, the tout have fully returned to the commercial town of Onitsha and its environs on immeasurable dimension. Hey, at Bridgehead section of Onitsha, truck drivers were being charged 14,000 naira before they were allowed to continue with their journey, while some stopped the vehicular movement and parked them at the FRSC compound beside Ogbo Abada Market on Onitsha. You can imagine, they parked it around FRSC compound. At Onitsha Ogoro Road, the story was the same, as Touts, who had disappeared following Soludo's directive when he took over as governor, now harass commercial vehicle drivers, demanding huge amount of money ranging between 2,000 naira and 5,000 naira had finally returned with incessant beating of commercial drivers. At Ochanja area of Onitsha, it was reported that the touts collect as much as 13,000 naira from truck drivers plying that route. The return of touts had thrown residents, tricycle riders, and other commercial drivers into panic, as was the case during the administration of former Governor Willie Obiano. Don't forget that some days back, the same tout picked up one of the activists, Obi, and that's his name, Obi. I think it's about a 60-year-old man, beat him to stupor. Why? Simply because he's one of those few people who kept on insisting that since Professor Charles Soludo have stopped the issue of touting, it will remain so, and they have made up their mind to protect that particular part of not paying exorbitant touts, especially to touts and area boys, Agberos. Well, after that beating he was given, and the fact that they have also, the tricycle riders have also sworn that they will not be paying to tout and Agberos, as the reign of Charles Soludo is favorable to them, because of there's little or no multi taxation coming from just the government of the day. Well, it looks like it is not so now. Because there's no food. Let's be real. I'm just being very practical. You have taken the touts their food away from them, which is illegal anyway. The fact that the touts are collecting taxation illegally is illegal. What is good is not right. That the fact that putting food on someone's table does not make it right, it is wrong. But then again, if you have taken away this channel of income from the touts, Have you bothered to rehabilitate them? By the time they stay a day, two, there's no food. They either go into some sort of stealing or they go back to where they're coming from. They can't go hungry forever. They say it's not better to die trying than not than going off in hunger and starvation. So they will definitely go back because there's nothing they have been as a cushioning effect from this downfall of them not getting any funds from the regular touting business. Nigerians have taken to the social media to respond to this. Let's look at what they're saying in cross section. This one here is saying government always makes policies without thinking. He should have first of all set up plans to engage those so-called touts, because the so-called touts are our fellow citizens and only survive on a daily basis. But their leaders chose to label them touts. No more Nigerian elections in Biafra land. If you come out to vote, anything you see, you take, even if you are my siblings. And that's not the right way to go about things. How do we find out the solution? Although I do agree with him on one thing, the fact that Professor Charles Soludo should have found an alternative means of income for these guys, or else they will definitely return back to where they're coming from. It's actually not rocket science. It's just thinking deep and analytically as well. This one here is saying, not likely, the government must discuss and provide other means of survival for them. And that's true. That's very true. This one here is saying, it is not enough to say you are throwing touts off the road, but what alternative means did Charles Soludo have for the people before asking them to leave the road? It's unfortunate to just ask them to stay out of the road before discussing with them. That's true. We're just being practical here. Much as we would love Anambra to be clean and green, but there are also human beings affected. For every change, there's always a human factor to it that affects the man involved. One way or the other, there's always a positive and a negative one to it. This one here is saying, who employed you to be a tout? Can you work? No. Do you have any qualifications? No. Can you farm? No. But touting, you will soon regret. Go and learn work. My advice to you. You see, they're saying this one is saying that touting is not a handwork. If your hands are okay, go and work. Even if it's agriculture, just go and farm and earn a living and stop depending on touting. Well, it's a good advice. Even the so-called farms right now are not even secured and protected because of the issue of banditry, Fulani herdsmen, and all that. The insecurity is biting deep, and it's not even as making anyone to think out of the box. Farming is a good idea. Okay, it's a nice idea, but the question is the road, is the area to the farm, and the final destination, is it secured enough for everyone to embark on such business? I guess that's where we're going to wrap it up. Then again, Nigerians are talking. Charles Soludo should look into the issue of alternative way of engaging this tout, or else he will keep going back and forth over this matter, as the youth or the tout will not lie low when funds they are used to are now being leaked away from them. A lot of battles, I must say. That's going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our conversation. What's your take on this?